Welcome to Clever Classroom IT. My name is Phil Mellifont, and in this series of Clever Classroom IT, we'll be looking at a range of issues that are relevant to schools to do with technology and learning. We want to look at teacher professional development, identifying the hardware and software in your school, and a whole range of issues with invited guests that will challenge the way that you think about technology and learning in school and at home. Today I have with me Liam Davison, who is the principal at John Paul College in Frankston. Welcome, Liam.
Thanks.
And Eddie Rogauskas from High Star Infotech.
G'day, Phil.
Liam, you've been doing some innovative things at your school. I wonder whether you could tell us about what's been happening in your school.
Okay, I guess like many secondary schools, we've invested a fair amount of time and money and expertise into developing computers in the school. And we use them widely for many different applications, both teaching and learning, and also admin and other applications. About 2 or 3 years ago, we came to a point of decision in terms of how we could really extend the network and its use across the curriculum. We have hardwired labs. They are very adequate for what they're used for, but they're inflexible. They don't give access across the curriculum in the way that we really have a vision for. So we looked around at possibilities. We were very aware that at that time there was a great deal of parental interest in mobile computers in schools, and many concerns about whether our students would be required to buy or lease a computer, as was the case in many schools. So with that desire for flexibility, the desire for equity of access, that desire for a serious impact on teaching and learning across the curriculum and across the year levels, we went looking for answers. That was our question, and we wanted a solution. And the solution we've been piloting is a solution based on radio technology, radio LAN.
So radio technology is a new type of technology, and that is as well as the labs of computers that you would have in the school.
Well, see, we've got a very comprehensive network with about 200 outlets on it. The question is, how could we enhance it? How could we build on it, build on that infrastructure that was already invested? And we saw using mobile computers with radio linkage to that network as the way forward for teachers and students alike, because, you know, as a professional group, teachers want to teach and they want to help students learn. They don't want to become technically expert. And so if a teacher can go to a class, meet a class in a particular place, and log on to a school network and have full range of services, as simply as flicking on a light switch, well, then the teacher will be attracted to that way of using technology, and the technology will come into general classrooms much more quickly. So,
okay, so how is the radio network used in your school? You know, if someone visited your school today, how would they see teachers and students using notebook computers and making use of the facility?
The pilot group, we began this in term 2 of this year. We launched this radio LAN with notebooks, and the pilot group was the Year 7 English teachers and their, you know, the English coordinator and her staff working at Year 7 agreed to act as a pilot group. So if you came to my school, I'd take you to a Year 7 English classroom and show you students using software like Creative Writer and doing a lot of very, very interesting thinking and writing using the notebooks and accessing other information and so on as they were working. So you wouldn't probably see very much in terms of a very visible thing to look at. You'd see a notebook on the desk, but you wouldn't see any cables connected to it. You'd simply see the box or the notebook itself.
Okay, so maybe if we could get into explaining what the radio network is and how it works, and maybe get on to some advantages.
Yeah, basically, if the way it works is the radio LAN or the radio network is an extension of your normal school network. And what we do, Liam, if you could just pass me the bridge, what we have is we have a radio bridge that connects back to our Ethernet network, and that sends out a radio signal that carries data to each of the users. Now, number of users up to 25 or 30 users can connect to each individual bridge. And if you look at the notebook, each notebook has a antenna that's connected to a network card that slots inside the PC. So basically all students need to do is when they come to class, they can open the notebook, turn it on, and as soon as we turn it on, the aerial and the notebook looks for the nearest bridge. And then once it connects to the bridge, it just goes through the Ethernet network and logs onto the server as we would in a normal network situation.
So the advantage is that there's no cables, no connectivity, and no time logging on. You open the lid and the thing connects and it just works.
Yes, that's one advantage. The other advantage is, of course, that every student at my school is a registered user and so has file server directory and storage space and access to the range of software that runs on the network. So, so it's not just the connectivity, but it's the access to the service and the advantage that a network provides.
So what you're saying is that all the files that they would save on the network, and it wouldn't matter which notebook they have access to their files.
That's right.
So what resources have they access to on the network?
Well, we run a range of programs. Schools are actually quite complex places for software, but I guess without naming products, there'd be a kind of a well-known suite of software which offers word processing, database, and spreadsheet, and a number of other emailing and so on. So students would use email, they would use word processing, they would use other software that is designed specifically to encourage creative writing, for example. They would use a number of applications that have they use CD-ROM available services, which are networked. They would have access to the internet. At our school, we decided to encourage the use of internet by providing a proxy cache so that internet sites could be accessed very quickly on the network rather than out through the through a modem or a link to the internet proper. So the full range of internet, CD-ROM, emailing, and
because
so
you're using the battery, there's no need to plug in for power either.
No plugging in. Batteries, we've worked out that in fact we can get a day's classroom use out of a machine on one full charge of battery.
And so what has been the learning outcome or the outcomes in terms of students and teachers with access to this technology?
Well, I think I've seen I mean, I'm not directly involved. It's all very well for me to talk about it, but I'm just sort of an interested bystander in a sense. The classroom teachers tell me that there's a great level of enthusiasm among students and a great enhancement of the many and varied ways in which students can think and think creatively and imaginatively and express themselves and communicate in ways that weren't possible before, using graphic display and so on. I think that enthusiasm, that motivation that comes from enthusiasm, that self-directedness of students in terms of their own learning. Teachers, I guess, kind of set up the learning situation and design the environment, but students are really able to self-learn, perhaps for the first time in a serious way.
So what advice would you give to schools that would be interested in looking at this type of network?
Well, I guess I think it's always important for schools not to sort of leap to somebody else's solution as the solution for them. Obviously, schools have to do their own thinking. They have to really think out what they really want to do with technology. How do they want technology to assist in the teaching and learning process at their school? And what are their core values? What is their philosophy, or what are the basic principles that guide their whole operation? And what kind of solution can help them to advance all of that? And that really takes quite a bit of thinking and talking and reflecting on. And it's very much it's a seeding time. It's a time that's very, very important and valuable for staff to have those sorts of conversations before they even think about hardware and software.
I want to thank you both for being here today. Thank you, Eddie from High Star Infotech, and Liam from John Paul College.
Thank you.
Thank you.